Joining us now, Henrietta Trace, co-founder and director of economic policy for Veda Partners. Maya Rupert is was senior advisor for the Warren campaign and former campaign manager for Julian Castro. So, Henrietta, if the tariff exemptions would go through, what impact could it have on the economy and on Americans' wallets?
Well, first of all, we could finally bring coffee prices back down to where they were in the Biden era, which was 50 percentage points lower than where they are today. There's a 50% tariff just on Brazil here. So there are a lot of things that Americans buy every single day, bananas, coffee, as I mentioned, that are all seeing tariff rates rise and inflationary impacts that the American consumer is feeling on levels that we haven't registered since the 2008 financial crisis. That's how bad the consumer index is in terms of just how you feel about the state of the economy. And consistently, the economy, jobs, prices, and inflation rank as the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 issues for U.S. consumers. And President Trump's own approval rating on those issues is negative 57 points. He's got a 57% disapproval rating on his handling of the economy, and it's largely because of these tariffs.
Yeah, and Maya, the administration's push to try to lower food prices, of course, come after the Democrats won big in those elections a week ago Tuesday, and they focused heavily on affordability. Whatever the president wants to say, and he continues to say it, what do you do with that as a Democrat? Because what we do know is Americans didn't vote on what they were told during the Biden administration. They voted on what they felt. Why would it be any different this time?
I don't think that it will be. And I think this is exactly what the story is going to be going into 2026. People don't respond well to being told, no, don't worry, prices are low, when they don't feel the prices getting any lower. And so I think for Democrats, the challenge becomes not just saying, we'll roll back Trump's tariffs, right? Because people felt like their groceries are too high before. What we need are real ideas that are going to stop prices from rising. Democrats need to lean in and talk about price gouging. They need to talk about new technologies that make it so grocery stores can surveil people and make decisions about how much things should cost based on that. And they need to lean in on wages. People are struggling. The affordability crisis, yes, we need to talk about prices, but we also need to talk about the fact that people's wages need to go up. And I think those are going to be the ideas you will see dominating and shaping the debate in 2026, because that's what people are going to be voting on.
So let's talk about the Republican messaging, because Henrietta, here's what Vice President J.D. Vance said just yesterday about the affordability issue.
We have to remember they're expensive because we inherited this terrible inflation crisis from the Biden administration. But you've already seen signs that things are getting better. The price of eggs has gone way down. The price of energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline has gone way down. A lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the country with 30 million illegal immigrants who were taking houses that ought by right go to American citizens. And at the same time, we weren't building enough new houses to begin with, even for the population that we had.
So we're just about 10 months into Trump's second term. And we could say the contrast between what the president said, that prices were low, and now J.D. Vance saying, well, they're expensive because. How much of what we're seeing in higher prices is because of what Vance just laid out?
Well, for gas prices and eggs, which are not associated with the tariffs, the vice president is correct. For everything else, he's flat wrong. So per a recent Goldman Sachs analysis, Americans pay 55% of the tariffs, and the rest are paid for by those businesses bringing in their products. So if you're Caterpillar and you're trying to build a big tractor here in the United States, it's 50% more expensive because you need the steel and aluminum and the copper that goes into those products, and they're all tariffed at 50%. The vice president just cherry-picked 3 items that have nothing to do with the tariffs, and which is where all the inflation is coming from. They're lucky that gas is low, because otherwise the inflation rate would be substantially higher. And now that the economy's reopened, you can't get away with just not publishing inflation data anymore. It's going to come out, and it's going to be negative as it continues to persist as a result of these tariffs. And then we have the added uncertainty that is causing layoffs across the board, specifically in the manufacturing sector, that keep wages down. So it's a combination of all all these things, which is why, again, the American consumer, including 61% of independents, do not like the president's economic agenda.
Do you see anything, Maya, that knocks the economy off its number one perch, poll after poll after poll between now and midterms?
Honestly, no. I think the midterms are going to be a referendum on Trump's economy, and they can say that this is holdover from Biden, and they will until, I mean, Trump is out of office. They're still going to be saying this is the last administration's fault. But the fact of the matter is, people are experiencing Trump's economy. They are struggling, and I think that is what we are going to see motivating people to vote in 2026.